So now I add the pectin.
Educational films like this one reflect society's belief that women could find fulfillment only as housewives and mothers.
Now I let it come to a full rolling boil again. It won't take long. You like to cook, don't you, Pet? Oh, it's not just liking to cook. It's more. It's accomplishing something. It's me cooking. Me, Susan Douglas. And not just cooking, but, well, creating something special. Oh, I wish Miss Holland could talk to you. She could say it so much better than I can.
And I think the most obvious answer is because women in general today are being encouraged by the dominant culture to cast off their femininity, to abandon it, that it's worthless.
It is a harsh pill to swallow, but American women have lost their feminine instinct. And this has been happening for several generations, in case you're wondering.
When we talk about modern women, we talk about Western women in general and Western culture. When you travel to non-Western countries, you will have a different experience.
The person I was talking to is saying it like women are taking over, but it's a more masculine type of energy, and it's like they're taking the role of men. And so it made me think, and it sparked up the conversation about women in America, particularly women of African ancestry, being so masculine.
Yeah, no, definitely. The qualities that are inherent to women, like being maternal or compassionate or generous or just being warm, all of those are sort of regarded as inferior or weak.
Just do all of these things that made me more boyish, right? Because that was the thing, and we couldn't be too feminine because femininity was seen as something weak, innately weak, right? So whether it was a male being feminine or a female being feminine, just femininity in general was weak.
Because we've been taught that, women are weak. We're emotional creatures and we're so weak. And all signs of femininity like submission.
Can't say the word submission to these females today. They think it's slavery.
And softness is weakness, and that's a lie.
It's looked down upon as a weakness, yes, like being nurturing, being vulnerable, being empathetic. It's looked on as, okay, that's completely weak, and we don't want to be even anything associated with this. And then the admirable traits, the ones to be admired and aspired to, are like dominance, independence, leadership as women. But if you really think about it, these are qualities that come more inherently, they come more naturally to men.
Yes, these traits come naturally to us men, because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
And so as females were dismissing femininity, the females who wanted to go into that role or step into that role was made fun of. And we were pushed to the side in society because now we were being labeled as good for nothings in this world, right?
So essentially, the big instigator of this has obviously been feminism.
Uh-oh, she said the F word. And now we have to bleep it because of the YouTube guidelines. This next sequence is going to be all about the womanist movement impacting women's femininity.
There was this big movement where females were really claiming their independence because of this whole entire social movement that females have to make sure that they don't ever need a man, forget the man. And there was almost, it wasn't an empowerment, it almost felt like a hate towards men.
Since this movement, American women have been told that they need to be more manly, and this has been very good for the economy. But for the family, this has been a very big problem.
Now, the rise of the feminist campaign was the beginning of liberation for women who wanted to venture into the world and make something of themselves. The movements were able to champion for voting rights, equality rights, and so forth. We can even say that they are responsible for paving the way for what we see today.
Most definitely. The womanist movement has a great influence on the foolishness that you see today. The first wave was the most justified wave. However, what we're experiencing today is confusing both men and women, causing Western society to implode. It's doing more harm than it's doing good.
And if you think about it, then is essentially encouraging women to become men. And the thing about that, I find that very insulting, that women, I know women have to basically abandon their inherent qualities, their nature, to become more like men, and that's supposed to be empowering for us to just give up everything that we naturally are. So I don't find that to be empowering anyway.
I don't know, for me as a woman, it feels very draining to be in masculine energy all the time. And so it feels like such a relief to be able to be more feminine and embrace that side of myself more without having to like feel guilty about it, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. Sometimes I feel like by choosing to put your energy into those things instead of a career, it's not seen as a good thing anymore. And it's unfortunate because I feel like that is kind of like femininity's true nature.
Modern women are unhappy because in Western society, it's the norm for women to go against their nature. Take a look at our highlight video called Women Explain Why Women Are So Unhappy. It's full of gems.
I know, it's essentially like, we love women, we fight for women, but by the way, women, everything that you naturally are, just throw that out, you know, as if it was a basket of rotten apples, and go and usurp the male role, at least in general, what comes naturally to them, and then you'll be special, then you'll be something to be admired and inspired to. It's absolutely hideous.
Movies have also played a crucial role in shaping the way young girls think about themselves. Now, in the past years of movies such as Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel have indirectly shown that a woman can be just as good as a superhero as a man. Now, subconsciously, these messages have shaped how young women view themselves, and the good news is that many women have been able to see themselves worthy and able to compete with men.
The trend in young adult literature, not even only popular young adult literature, it's also in movies. You can see it everywhere. You'll know exactly what we're talking about, but it's the strong woman is the one who's like axing down 50 men. She's like this string bean that looks completely, just scientifically, it's impossible.
It's impossible and it's foolishness. Take a look at our video called The Foolishness of Women Fighting Men. We explain why this false narrative is not benefiting women.
But yet, they're out there, they have no emotions, and they're all cold and hard, and they're such a strong woman, and they're out there, they can go fight, they're independent, take care of themselves. This is the woman that's upheld as the best woman, the model women, and I think it's a complete farce.
Let's look at movies, for example. In the films, how many films have we seen and they have a man in a relationship with a masculine looking woman, or mentally like she's boring and she's a bit bossy and all of that, and he cheats on her with a feminine woman, somebody who is naturally more vibrant and more bubbly and bouncy and fun and girly. That happens often in movies. We have all seen stuff like that in films, and it happens in real life as well.
Back then it was more just society in general would praise mothers. Nowadays though, they don't, and so therefore mothers don't really get that attention, or just feminine women in general.
Yeah, they do the opposite.
It's because mothers, if you think about it, they live more of a hidden life. All of their sacrifices, everything, there's not a huge spotlight shown upon it, and everyone can see every day all that they go through, you know, being pregnant those 9 months, giving birth, raising children, educating children, all of the ups and downs they have to go through. You know, of course, everyone undergoes tragedies at one point or another. There are difficult times, but this is just a more hidden life that people don't see. So no one thinks to put any kind of value on it.
This topic has many layers, and that's why there will be a part 2 to this, where we talk about men not dating or being interested in masculine women. So that's it for today, guys. Manosphere, we working. This video has officially been highlighted.